Hello, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut here, Brian Galke, and we are ACES53. As you can tell, Brian's on his tour, so he's in another hotel room. Anyway, well, it is
Nashville,
Tuesday.
Tennessee.
That's a nice place to be. You go out at night, see some of the honky tonks.
Yep, did that last night.
Yeah, I know you were supposed to call me.
Did.
Or something. You were supposed to do something. I don't
remember.
Yeah,
I forgot.
But I was like, it's freaking. It can't be that much open on on a Sunday night, or whatever night it was.
I went and grabbed dinner, and then I went and just listened to live music till way too late. But today was just a walk through the venue, so yeah.
You're gonna say?
I was just gonna say it was interesting. I don't think I've ever arrived early. Like usually you show up the day before an event, but they happened to say, hey, if you're in town, we're going to do the first day walkthrough. So a lot of the speakers and everyone went over there today, saw what it looked like, got a chance to see it. I did a Instagram live of it earlier. It's a really cool theater. That's one thing that they have out here is there's so many different places that you can throw events at, and they all have their own little uniqueness to what they look like, what they have available. This one is a smaller venue than last time, but it's got like VIP level up above, really cool couches that are in the room. And sorry, this chair is driving me nuts. It's a good venue. I will say that it's got some cool things, so everyone would be happy with it.
I don't think people throw stuff in horrible venues anymore, if possible.
No, I think people are just tired of hotels.
What are you at today?
What am I at? What do you mean?
Yeah, no, I know you're in Nashville. What event are you at today?
Tuesday. Impact Effect 24. So Jim Morris. We had Jim on probably a month ago.
Yeah, I don't remember. I can't keep track of all your events you're doing now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I got 2 this week, so I literally leave. So we do the event on tomorrow on Wednesday, and then Thursday I'm sticking around because Jim is doing his TED Talk. Sorry, I didn't realize I was leaning so far back. He's doing his TED Talk. I'm staying for that, and then I hop on a plane and go straight to Miami to go speak at Sam Taggart's event. So I left home on Sunday, and I'll go home on Sunday. But we'll get in some miles, get to see some good people. And it'll be 2 completely different shows
in a few weeks.
I am. It's in October 21st.
You going as a visitor?
I haven't bought my ticket yet, but most likely yes.
Well, it's in Dallas. I mean,
how it goes. Yeah, that's just it. They're based here.
Yeah. Oh, I was supposed to have. I left my ticket at home.
Yeah. Well, last time I went because I had to pick up kiddo and I couldn't go all day. So what I did is I just went and worked from the coffee shop there, and I had everybody come meet me. So like Joel that we know was there, Henry Sims was there, a few other people. So I just went and worked from the hotel because I didn't have a ticket, and I couldn't go for the multiple days that it was. I did go 2 years ago when Steve was the keynote speaker, and I went as his guest and got to kind of see it all. And for a company that throws their own event, they do it all in-house, and we're talking thousands of people coming in for it. But they had probably one of the crazier after parties that I've seen.
Really? Yeah, I mean, they've been around a while now, and they have a huge following. So they're right up there with most of the events, and they take care of it all. That's important. But we've been talking about events a lot lately because you've been doing a lot more. This was my year that I didn't do them, go to them. Starting January, I'm going to them again. So,
gotcha.
Everybody's like, "Why don't you do now?"
What kind are you gonna add back to?
I don't put me on the spot right now.
Oh, I didn't know if you had one in mind in January. I didn't know if you were seeing
in January. I just said starting in January because I have the Operation Firewalk, which is going to be huge this year. Huge meaning that people we have coming and stuff already signed up to be the keynote speakers is pretty cool. So, and they're all veterans.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Even better.
Yeah, I'm just saying because last time he wasn't a veteran, but Dave Sanderson, the guy who was the last one off the plane that went in the Hudson, he gave an amazing talk. Everybody was like, "Wow, that's amazing." So we want the same thing. Plus, the fire guy that's helping us, he's bringing some guy from 9/11 and stuff on top of everything. So,
oh wow,
yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Cool.
It's just the nonchalant thing that just happens in Modesto, California for veterans.
Nice.
I'm
Very,
gonna
very
have
nice.
everything. My
Well,
goal
now,
is to have everything done end of the month so I can start promoting it.
mhm.
So
So we got to, I was going to say, just put a trail on the end of our videos, right?
yeah, well, yeah, it's just
Is
a
there a way
matter
to
of
do that?
getting
Like
it.
close out?
We could. I could,
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm just saying it's just one of those things that's getting out because even though everybody local wants it, they want us to come and talk about it. They want us to know because after the Rotary event, after we won all those awards at Rotary because of it, everybody wants to know more about it now. Like how I threw that in there, how I
Yeah.
got all those awards
Yep.
because it was all about the awards. I tell you,
You did it all for the kudos,
that's
not a
right.
participation trophy.
Yeah, well, actually, they give these horrible ribbons, so I had them created
Mhm.
into trophies.
Nice.
Yeah, because I
Very
gave them
cool.
out to my people. Yeah, because
Mhm.
it's like, how do you everybody who did all this stuff, I wanted to make sure they were thanked, and it's not just about me. I wasn't the only one who did it. It was my idea, but it was the people who brought it together. I couldn't have done it without them.
Right.
Yeah,
Takes a
so
village.
I made the awards and gave it to them, and I was so
Well,
selfish, I made me
you know,
one.
talking about needing people and help, Renee, who we had on last week, she's actually flying in for this event because she is going to be the stage manager. So it's what we talked about before. Not only was she throwing her own event, but to learn, she's volunteering her time. And that's a way that people can go and do things. So, like at your event, I'm sure you're going to have volunteers.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because a lot of people are like, well, if I'm not getting paid, I'm not going to do it. I'm like, but you get experience by doing things. So, there's several ways to learn something. You can pay to play, which is pay to go to a school, do something. You can mimic someone, find a mentor who will teach you how to do it, or you can just try and figure it out on yourself. That one usually takes the longest and has the most amount of screw ups. But it's crazy to me that people won't volunteer to be taught something. Using Tony Robbins as an example, you can't be a volunteer until after you've gone through the exact event that you're volunteering at. Now, once you've been
Right.
through it, you can come back and volunteer. And lots of people do that. Why? They want exposure to that same level again without having to pay for it. So volunteer at things, find out where people need help. And one of the things that I don't know if we talked about this on here or on another group, but whenever don't go somebody and hey, what can I do for you? Go to someone that you want to learn from and give them a solution. Hey, I can come volunteer at your event, with anything you need. So you make up the idea of volunteering instead of coming and asking everybody, what can I help you with? Because that's the number one complaint of successful people is all these people reach out to them all the time and say, what can I do for you? And that's not providing value. But if you come in and say, hey, I want to volunteer at your event to help you, that's providing value and you get exposure.
So is the stage manager the same as the MC in that world?
No, I know cat wrangler, basically keeping all the speakers on time, getting them mic'd up,
Oh,
just making sure where are they, what's going on. So
so like a
keeping in
backstage.
charge of the talent. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a backstage manager.
Should be
Yep.
hurting the
There are
cats.
exactly. There's going to be two different MCs that are going to be here. So there's variety, kind of like they did last year. What they did that was really cool is the girl Celeste, who's going to be introducing me. She didn't ask me for my bio. She asked for a 30-minute phone call. She said, I want to get to know you. I've seen your stuff. I want to get to know you so I can introduce you the right way. And that's a unique thing that they're doing here is they want to get to know everyone. We had Jim on before. It talks about everybody who buys a ticket, Jim personally calls them. And so I think there's 75 people that are going to be here, 75 phone calls to make sure he had the right people in the room.
That's good. That's how it should be.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I mean, that whole
So,
personalization, talking to people again. I mean, it's so important. It's just the same thing, us contacting our clients, our past clients. Like if
yeah.
somebody bought your flashcards, if you called them, they'd freak out.
Yep. You're right. That's something I need to do much,
Because
much
then
more.
you could talk about, hey, how you come along with the flashcards? Oh, I'm not really getting it. Well, do you want to do the group coaching now? Or would you like to do it
Yep.
one-on-one? There's so many ways that you could take that conversation. I'm not saying do it, as a natural thing. And,
Right.
but you don't know that unless you talk to them. But if you only reach out to
Exactly.
sell them something, that's a
Mm-hmm.
problem.
It is. There is a pros and cons to that. One is email marketing follow up. That's one thing that I know a lot of companies don't do because I sign up the worst person to sign up for anything is somebody who sells something. And what I mean is I'm always studying other people's funnels. And what drives me nuts is I signed up for one at the last event, and the guy called me, "Oh, hey, this speaker wanted me to call you. They were really impressed with you. Want to know what you thought about the event." I'm like, "No, they didn't. I know that's the script he's given, but instead be truthful. Hey, we know you downloaded this. We want to make sure you understood what you downloaded and see what questions we can help you with." But when they start off with trying to take the fame from the speaker and say, "Oh, Joe Smith told me to call you," yeah, that just immediately I'm like on that part. But
or the
the
ones,
email follow up. Yeah.
no, what I mean
Sorry, go ahead.
is we have people we know who they, as long as you're doing everything, they talk to you, and but then instead of seeing how you're doing, they're telling you to, hey, by the way, we have this available for you and this. But I'm just
Right.
saying, reach out to your people when you don't need anything from them. See how they're doing, period. But your
Right.
follow-up after your purchase, instead of an email,
Mhm.
which is what you do, can be, with those flashcards or whatever they're at, just that quick little
Mhm.
phone call would make them be so impressed that they're going to go back and buy something else. I'm not saying you're doing that, but that's how to get
Yep.
connected with them more. And because that's what you're doing. You're on stage connecting with your audience, where most
Right.
people are out there just talking to the audience.
Yes. One of the speakers that was at the last event told an amazing story about his life, but he didn't leave anybody with an action thing. And it was sad because he had a big banner, like a step and repeat, the little thing that stands
Mhm.
behind all the speakers, that had an amazing flow of what he coaches on. And I think part of the reason was most people aren't used to talking for 25 minutes. We're used to an hour. So maybe he was going to get farther along in the story. But he told his incredible story, but it didn't explain how he's going to help me as a coach. And that's something I thought he was missing. So he told a good story, and that's will get you on some stages. But if you don't leave people with what do they get from joining your program or why they should follow you or something, cool story, bro, and then you're done. But to your point, he did have his person call, but then I felt like that didn't go so well because they called, left me a voicemail, and sent me a text message, and they said, "Let me
But
see,
what it's the script they
hey,
were
they
given.
told me personally."
It's the Brian.
Go
It's the
ahead.
script they were given was wrong.
Agree,
They should, yeah, they
100%.
should have. He should just called and say, "Hey, we know you were at the event. What'd you think about it? What was your best part of the event? What do you think we could have done
Right,
differently to make it a better event for you?" Right?
right.
Easy.
Let me just see if I can find it
Don't
here.
make it about you. Make it
Okay.
about them.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, this is blah, blah, blah with blah, blah, blah. He asked me their person's name. Uh, he asked me to follow up with you from Friday's event, the Rich Thinking, and was hoping to get some feedback. Please reply stop to unsubscribe. Thanks. And then he came back
Actually, it's
and he
not
said the
so
same thing.
bad.
Hey, here.
That's not
No,
so bad.
I know. Well, he left. That was on Monday, right after he left me a voicemail. And I was busy Monday. And then Tuesday, called again and then said, "Hey, when is a good time for me to reach out?" And I said, "There's not. I'm a fellow speaker. I was going through your funnels." But I feel like 2 days in a row where you call, leave a voicemail and text back to back, give them a couple days. The event was just on Friday. People are getting back to work on Monday. So I do applaud them because they have a step more than I do, which is they had follow up. But I think it was too much too fast. And I just, it's a personal preference. I don't like it when they say, this person said that, this person, AKA name drop, wanted me to call you because they were, well, then why didn't they call me?
Yeah.
And
Name
there's,
droppers always have a problem with other name droppers.
yeah. And I say that as a name dropper. I know I'm guilty of it. I know where you're going.
I know you did. I know you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad that,
But to your
it's
point,
nice to see you doing successful and getting more and more speaking gigs. Then
yeah,
you still need to know your clients now. So
that's 100%. Like we talked about before, we're going to add another page that's dedicated for just sales.
yeah, because
That I
people
can, the
search
QR
sales
code will take them
training.
to that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working with Joel and them. They just, the new website went live last week. Was it last week? Gosh, it was last week. Because when did I get home? All my day? No, 2 weeks ago. Because I was at Greg's event last week,
Yeah.
which that was a fun event too.
I was going to say, how was that?
But yeah,
So I saw you
it
were
was good.
the older Elvis.
So I was
Not
the
being
Elvis that you're not allowed to have the white jumpsuit when you're going to an evening event because they don't want anything to get spilled on it. So they'll only allow you to have the black Elvis outfit.
no,
But they literally reached out. They're like, "Hey, will you be Elvis?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." And I thought it was
look,
just going to
that's
be for
it.
pictures.
It
And they're like,
fit you. It fit you, so
"It
they
did."
must have had.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh no, I had to go rent it from a costume store where it was like, "Hey, by the way, if you don't return this, it's $1,000 for the suit." So it was a well-made one for sure. But they didn't tell me until the end. They're like, "Oh, and by the way, there's going to be a video, and you're going to have to get up on stage and be Elvis." I'm like, "What?" I have no problem talking in front of people, but I don't do karaoke and I don't do dancing. But I got up there and did it. It was still kind of fun.
There you go.
But
Got outside your comfort
um,
zone.
yeah, there's a guy you really would have liked, and I didn't know who he was when I was talking to him because I got there late to Secret Knock, and I kind of stood over to the side. I found my introvert perch, and I was watching, so I didn't see the names on the screens. I actually didn't realize there were screens until later in the event. But his name is Nick Halik, Halik. He wrote a book called The 5-Day Weekend, and it's a really good book
I
I read
read
a
it
long
already.
time ago. And
I read it. I read it.
what's that?
You talked
You read
about
it?
it a while
He
back,
told
and
us.
so I read it. So
That's right. He was telling the story of he did this custom built zip line where they were going to zip line across all these like lava and the volcanoes and all that kind of crap. And the zip line got stuck halfway in the middle, and then it started to rain. Well, when you take rain and it hits lava, it becomes acid. And so for 14 hours, he was trapped up above this thing. He had to sit like this and protect his eyes the entire time. So he has acid burns down both of his arms from keeping his eyes safe. And they finally got him down. But he talked about he didn't know what he was going to do. There's several times, like 3-4 hours into it, he thought maybe I just cut my harness loose and I take my chances of trying to climb across this zip line, which if anybody's ever tried to hold on to a cable, let alone one with your body weight, it'll tear your hands apart. So they were finally able to get him down. But yeah, it was 14 hours. He was stuck in a harness above lava, and it was raining on and off. So he had acid burns all over his arms as a result.
yeah, that's
Just
one thing I
crazy.
wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's one thing.
he knows
Yeah,
now.
'cause I mean, yeah. The heat from it caused it to swell, and that's why you were stuck
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you.
So, kind of crazy. Yep.
Yeah, I'll do some zip lining, but not that one.
Yeah. Then there's some of the other people, Larry Namer was there. A lot of the ones that are repeat customers for Secret Knock because they have so much information that every time they come, they do something different. Like Larry's got another TV show, another network in China now, and I'm trying to think of who else got up and talked. Former, oh gosh, what's the main attorney for the state called? Attorney General. Yeah, former
Mhm.
Attorney General for Nevada got up and talked, and then just some of the other people that have been around. And then, of course, they always bring in new people. Greg's good about finding. There's a girl. She's a manifestation. She's written all these books, and I think they call her the 7-figure manifestation expert because she's made so much money off of doing stuff. It's just crazy. Yeah. So Greg, he collects some strange ones in a good way.
Yes, he does. And some
Yeah.
strange ones in a not so good way.
Yeah. But this was his first one in Vegas. Instead of it being in San Diego,
I
but the
totally
one in
forgot
March
it
would
was
be
in
back in
Vegas.
San Diego. Yeah. So I got
Is
there,
it
I
gonna
dropped
be
kiddo
in
off.
San Diego, like the India Casino kind of one, or is it gonna be at his house? I mean, where is it gonna be?
No, he likes doing. No, Prosperity Camp was the one he used to do at his house,
Yeah,
but
right.
he's gotten so large, it's now 800 or 80 to 100 people that he ends up renting out venues for that now too. Now he did a creative one that was the last one I went to, which would have been 2 or 3 ago. He went and found a brand new building that was going to be selling condos that had a gathering spot on the rooftop that sat 80 people. And so he convinced them, hey, look, we'll give it in, give us the space for free. You can give tours to the condo. There's people with money here. And I don't know if they made any sales or not, but it was a creative way to get a venue locked in.
Right.
But the last few ones in San Diego, he's been doing at a place called the Music Box in Little Italy. That's just a cool venue. Really cool venue. So
Cool.
But he's got a lot going on. His son Colt was in a really bad accident. And so he was there, but you could tell like he was fully in it and giving everything he had. And then you could tell there was just those moments where he wanted to be somewhere else too.
Well, that's
just
a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I don't have much going on
event.
but work. So
yeah, that's positive. Hey, after what you've been through the last 3 years?
It hasn't been 3 years, year and a half. 3 years. It started in 22 October 22 for me.
Well, I was thinking today, aren't we coming up on 2 years of this show being around?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think
I don't
October, November-ish, right?
I'd have to check. I don't remember. Yeah. But I mean, our market really took a dump October of 22. It didn't really majorly affect me until January, February of the 23. So
yeah.
Okay. I actually moved offices back in a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, it's been a year.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like it, that's for sure.
A brutal year. All right. Well, I mean, I don't have much today to talk about, and I'm sorry. You've been talking the whole time about I'm such a traveler and I do all these events. I'm so great.
No, I wish. No, I'm actually I'm debating on taking a nap here, man. Just going from one time zone to the other.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot. People don't understand. It's a lot of work speaking on stages.
It is
constantly. Yeah.
Well, it's the things that go along with it, right? Like especially at Secret Knock or any of these, there's the all day event, and then people want to hang out and socialize and talk till late. And so, you're out till midnight, 1, 2, and then you're back up again at 6 a.m. To go back to the event the next day. So this one is like the normal where it was have the Secret Knock, then we all went to dinner and stuff. Then he has his soiree, and what do you call it? And then I had to have a flight. My flight left at 9 a.m., so I had to be back up at 6. So I didn't go so hard, but I just didn't get into a sleep routine and got back home and then got back out here to Nashville. So it's more like this next 2 weeks is more like visiting my house than living in my house. So
yeah, but before you know it, it'll slow down, and then
it will. I've got a busy some things just landed in October, 2 gigs, and then I've got one in November with Steve Sims, and then December will be holiday parties, and that's like you said, December is a lull, and then people kick it back up in January. So
my goal was to cut back and do other things, and now it's I'm doing those, and now it's about getting back out there again. Yeah, because like last week we were on, the lady asked us, why haven't you done your event? Because we never really planned it. We talked about it. Yeah, it's all on us. We just didn't do it. It's just putting it together.
I do exactly. Well, and it's one of those, it's exposure, right? It's one of those people need to still get to see you and know who you are before they buy tickets to come out. So if it's going to be somewhere like Texas, you're going to have to convince, we are going to have to convince people to come from California. It's easy to fill Dallas with Dallas people, but it's filling the other rooms as well. So,
right. I think Vegas for California is easier than Dallas is, but
yes. Yeah. Well, the funny thing about Dallas is it's like Chicago. There's 2 different airports, and people show up and like they think they're meeting their friend, and then they realize they're at different airports. Hey, what time do you get in? Oh, okay, I get there at the same time. All right, I'll get the car. And then they find out they're at the wrong airport. So it's kind of funny.
But not if you're there waiting for your car.
True.
Where's my guy?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So, all right. Anything else you want to talk about before we go? So we don't know if we're going to have a Thursday yet. We'll know more in the next 24 hours. So
exactly. So
if we're not here,
I'll go ahead and take us out.
All right.
Thanks, exactly. Yeah. All right, everybody. Welcome back.
Welcome. He is tired.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you again for joining us on ACES53 with Ed Parcaut and myself. The easiest way to support us is share this with a friend or subscribe and like it. We are here on Tuesdays with just Ed and I, like 2 grumpy old men. And then on Thursdays, we bring in someone else who is what we call the Joker, which is someone with a special skill or talent that will help you guys as well. We get to learn from them at the exact same time. So thank you for joining us today. Everybody have a great day.
All right.